Hello, my Libra friends. This is Jill with the Healing Moon Tarot, and today we're going to do your September 2018 general reading. I will be filming two separate parts with kind of two separate readings, just because I was having some issues with my camera splitting up files that were too large. I don't know how to explain it properly. I just want to make sure I don't lose any footage, so that's why the camera at some point will stop and restart. So we are going to start with an oracle card that's going to kind of set the tone for the reading. That's kind of a main focus or overview on it, and then we'll just start pulling some cards and see what they have to say. I hope you all are doing well. I am. Been having a really nice couple of days. Our card is Expansion. It's a really beautiful card. Get this stuff out of the way. You may notice there's hands here. There's always lots of little things hidden in these images. There's a face in the clouds. There's ships under these balloons. There's a bird and animals, and just these cards are so fun to look at because the more you look at it, the more you see, and they're really quite beautiful. Expansion. So where in your life are you expanding, Libra? Taking on more work, expanding your household, expanding your friend group, expanding your spiritual being, expanding your mind in whatever way. You know, the card's kind of large, you know, to one word to tell us about the whole month. But, you know, once these other cards come out, we may get a clear direction in which, or maybe you just need to think about that. What does the word expansion mean to you, and how is it playing in your life right now, or not? Should it be? All right, Libra, let's see what cards we're going to pull. King of Cups. So this may be in your heart space. The King of Cups is kind of like the King of Love, if you will. Cups are emotional space. So this is someone who's emotionally mature and connected to their emotional space, able to share love and be loved and accept love. So in the expansion space, I don't think you can expand anymore. You know, you can, that further than the king, but that kind of shows you the possibilities of your emotional space there. So let's see. Well, we're going to do this one at a time, I guess. That beautiful 10 of Wands. This deck, this card always, it's funny to me. The 10 of Wands, you know, here he is holding on to this big bug. And every time I see it, I just want to yell at whoever I pulled the card for, put it down, it's not yours. That does not belong to you. Why in the world would you be carrying something so around in your bag? So to me, expansion makes us, whether we're growing a business or growing a relationship or growing whatever, in order to expand, a lot of times we have to then go and simplify what we already have, make very conscious decisions about what from the past are we pulling into an expansion, because you usually can't take it all. There comes this point where you can't grow anymore without getting rid of stuff. This may be simplifying systems. This may be getting organized. This may be having to set really clear intentions of what is this thing, and what do we have to have, what do we need for it to go, and what can we put down, what things are we wasting time, wasting money, wasting resources, wasting things to make this work. How can we make this run better so we're not overwhelmed and carrying with us into the expansion a bunch of crap that don't belong there. I hope that makes clear sense. This King of Cups energy is going back to it, is this may be a passion project. This may be something that like your whole heart's in it. You're really excited about it. Or it could be with a water sign like a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Or I just feel like don't get emotionally attached to your projects or your work or your inventions, idea. I mean, sometimes, here it's showing that card, but there comes a point, there's a difference of putting all of your work and your soul into it and being like, I am so proud I created this thing, or I'm so excited about this thing. But let's say if it gets, it doesn't go well for whatever reason, something falls apart. Like, are you too emotionally attached to that thing? Are you, is that going to break you if something isn't received well by other people, or doesn't make you money, or whatever? I think it's a fine line that we have to walk there. It's how emotionally attached are we to projects or things we put out into the world. And I think people that are too attached in this, I need to protect this and it's perfect, whatever, they're the ones that can really get beat down or give up or be unwilling to take risk in the future. Let's pull some more cards. Thought for sure one flipped over, I guess not. We really are doing this one at a time, and we have the Five of Swords. There definitely be some conflict or some almost like to me it came out in like this volleying of, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make this work, and I need you to, like, I'm gonna be right, kind of, or I'm gonna win, or I'm gonna have the best idea, or I'm gonna come out on top, kind of like stop trying to win is what I'm getting from the combination of these two cards. Because the people that are getting beat down in the background, and the relationships that are getting severed, or the whatever, stop trying to win it. you can come out on top or be victorious and be in a place of expansion and growing without winning. Because when you're winning, someone else is losing. You're expanding. You can expand and grow and get a great control of things and be in a really emotionally healthy space without carrying around bullshit you don't need and beating people up along the way, is what I'm getting. I know I am just getting kind of fierce this morning. That's kind of how I end up talking to a lot of Libras, though. I don't know why. Libras and I quite typically can be very bossy with each other. And it's a two-way street. Like, Libras do it back to me too, so don't think that I bully around Libras, because that's not my goal. I have Libras in my life that do the same to me, and it's, I think, why we get along so well, because we're willing to say things to each other that other people wouldn't say, and we're willing to say it in a way that gets the other to be like, okay, you're for real. You're coming from a place of good intent. You really are trying to help me, and you're calling me on my shit. So I need to pay attention to what this person is saying. If you don't feel that way with me right now, I'm very sorry. And if you don't like it, I'm very sorry. There's a million readers on YouTube, and if you don't like being yelled at, I'm sure you can find someone that will be nicer to you than me. We have the 9 of Wands here, so we're now 9 and 10 of Wands. This is doing work. I think you have to be willing to get real about the work you want to do. Do you want to carry around a roach, or do you want to get strong and proud and capable? Okay, I think this is a very straightforward message here. Like, do you want this or do you want this? So this is telling you it's still a lot of work. It's still a lot of being uncomfortable sometimes for expansion and to grow and to create things. But it's your perspective on it. Is it, oh my God, I have to do this again, and I don't like the monotony and the amount and all of this? Or this person's like, yeah, I'm going to be uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it in a very intentional way to create gains for myself. So to me, I feel like this is definitely some kind of work, career, project, something. I don't know why, but that's how I'm feeling. I feel like I feel like this very intentional, getting organized, getting things, getting a system in place that would allow you to work hard without all the stuff. Like I was saying, throw all the way back in the beginning of this reading, going back to expansion, moving stuff out to expand, right? That seems to be a big theme from the start of this, moving that energy from feeling overwhelming, feeling burdensome, feeling, oh my God, I'm sick of doing this thing, to getting a system down where you can get through it so fast and so well and without like whatever this is. And so you're like, yes, I'm doing work, and yes, it's uncomfortable sometimes, but in that discomfort, I'm gaining and growing and getting stronger or better or more secure in the situation. So I just feel like a lot of changing intent and perspective is going to be strong for you in the month of September. All right, Libra. Let's get a couple more pulled. Really taking the time out of me here today. Libra. And just to remind you, wands are fire energy. That's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I really think the wands are representing you here. So I have the Seven of Wands, which he's, you know, willing to stand and fight, right? He's up here and able to be willing to defend, to take a defensive role rather than an offensive role. This is also showing that he has higher ground, and what that advantage is. Are you willing to take the high road? You know what I mean? Like, be above it, be able to see a bigger perspective on things, and separate yourself from any aggression or conflict coming your way. Taking a real good look at the whole situation comes to mind. The Page of Coins or Pentacles here. This person may not be making the best financial decisions. Not out of bad intent to, but it's kind of an immature, youthful, just willing to take risks, willing to put his neck on the line a little bit more, or to be a little more loosey-goosey. I don't know why those words just came to my head, but I had to say them after they were there. How many times a week do you get to say loosey-goosey? Oh, my brain works in interesting ways. So, okay. So, maybe being a little frivolous, or just not such a tightwad. I don't know how that energy is playing for you, but maybe adding these two cards together and thinking about what they would mean together. I really just feel like overall this is a willingness to stand up for, and this is a coin card, so this whole thing we've been talking about what I thought was a work kind of experience, and that the coin cards are tangible world stuff, and him being a coin is earth sign, so Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. If it's one of those kind of energy, or people with that energy in your life, sometimes I just have to shut up and like realign. I'm sorry. Maybe it's this is whoever this is happening with. It may be people or a person or a group or something within your job where you have felt like people are making bad decisions or rash decisions, or just not being as responsible as they should be, or whatever. But now you're willing to take a stand and say, you know, this is why I feel this way, or this is how I feel, or this is my viewpoint. I would just be very careful about, like I said, maybe take the high road and spend time seeing the bigger picture rather than being on the offense. Like, if this is brought into your space, you can stand up and say, this is my perspective, this is how I feel, this is my thoughts, feelings, concerns, whatever, and I will stand and say, yes, this is my problem, or I'm going to defend this, or whatever. I would not go on the offense with it, though. I'd be very careful about how you get intermingled into whatever conflict that is. But I definitely see it as standing for what's right and what, but I wouldn't go looking for the fight, because I don't think that's I don't think that's the way to go, because you're going to take out others in a harmful way that way. I see this reading much more you getting real with you, holding yourself accountable for your stuff, changing your perspective on how you spend your energy and your flow of life, and getting it down into a really productive, healthy way, so you can deal with anything else that comes your direction. Oh, now they all want to come out at the same time. All right. So you know how I was talking about my camera? We're at 20 minutes. Oops, sorry. So I'm going to stop it and immediately restart it. These cards coming out at one at a time has made this kind of a slow-moving reading. I apologize, but let's see here. We have the 6 of coins, the star, and the 3 of swords. The 6 of coins is about charity, giving and taking. So this financially could be someone in it, maybe this earth sign or whoever this is, coming in and saying, I need more, or I want more, or where's my part, or it could, there's some kind of hierarchy here usually depicted, or separation in class of people. One person has and one person does not. But I always remind people, do not take what is not yours, and do not give what you don't have to give away. So regardless of how that energy is playing in your life, I think this is, again, just a card of getting balanced for you, because you're working on expansion, right? So I'd be very mindful of what you ask for and what you receive and how that plays into your life. Next, we have the Star card, which I love the Star card. She's so beautiful. This card sees the possibility, and I always think about that we're made of stardust, right? And how amazing that is, and able to see such a beautiful perspective of the world. And it's just a really beautiful positive card as well, which I think is funny, followed by the 3 of swords. So I think feelings get hurt, okay? Regardless of how well you get this together and you get yourself headed in an expansive way and feeling good about where you're going and all of these things, and feeling like the star, feelings can still get hurt. So whether you're hurting yourself, hurting someone else, or someone else is hurting your feelings, I think that is just an energy that you need to be mindful of this month, especially going back to this area. I think it's just really important to think about how we're fighting in this world. Do you say hurtful things sometimes to people, and you don't realize how much you can hurt their feelings? Or I just really feel like I feel like it's sometimes difficult for you to stay on the defense instead of the offense, and you may feel like you have to slash out at people once in a while to protect something, or like that's just the routine you've gotten into of, not mean or not too mean or whatever, but just like little paper cuts at people here and there, and how it can add up to really hurt someone's feelings. Or you may be the person receiving that right now, this just poking at you kind of thing. However that's playing in your life, be mindful of it, give it the respect it needs, and accept it, and try to let it go, so you don't walk around with a knife in your heart all the time, that's not a fun way to spend life. All right, we are going to clean up this deck and pull some cards from another deck to give us a little bit more insight on all of this. Alright, Libra. If you watched any of my other videos, you've probably have seen me do a spread similar to this. I'm going to pull specific cards for your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual space, and then I will pull a couple of suggestion or action cards at the end. All right, we're going to start with our mental space. We have the Three of Cups. So friendships, relationships, whoever you're emotionally connecting to seems to be definitely on your mind, and that may be going back to the other three that we've seen, that Three of Swords, of the hurt feelings. So positively or negatively, mentally, there's your group in some way, shape, or form is on your mind. People that you think you have some kind of real relationship with, or maybe you are getting to spend time with your group, so you're planning something or excited about seeing them. However, that seems to be what's on your brain. I don't know. That was pretty short and to the point there. I don't know. I didn't get much more on. It's funny how some cards will make you talk for like 15 minutes, and then another card, you're like, yep, that's what the card is. Moving on. I don't know why it works that way. Let's pull a card for your physical space. Three of Swords. Does that look familiar? I guess that's all we're going to talk about. But this time it's coming out in your physical space. This could physically be getting hurt in some way, or needing to physically take care of your heart if you want to get super, super literal. And I don't think that's going to apply to everybody, but I mean, if that applies to you, then you understand what that means. But Libra. Okay, this might be like total left field, but if this is a three-party situation and someone's getting left out, or you're playing two people against each other in some way, I'm not even going to expand on that, because you know, if that's what you're doing, that's... Okay, moving on, Libra. Let's pull a card for your emotional space. The Knight of Wands. Are you flirting? Like, really, I was trying to avoid this and not talk about it. And this is not going to apply to everybody, but like, are you running some game right now? Like, really, that's what I I mean, and it may not necessarily be in the romantic world. This could be in the business world or, you know, in the professional world, in some place where you're playing people against people and like setting up a love triangle, but in a business way, if that makes sense. Using your charisma, using your charm to get extra benefits, get extra something. And you're a Libra, so I know that you can do that. You are more than capable of doing that. Not trying to be judgy. But going back to the other pull with the conflict, cards coming out and carrying around stuff that don't belong to you. If this is what you're really doing behind the scenes, that's probably a good reason why there's gonna be some conflict, right? My grandma, bless her soul, she passed away a couple of years ago. But she was hilarious, and she loved the word hussy, and she called people hussies all the time. And so I have this like really strong urge to call you a hussy right now, and in a totally playful manner. I'm not saying you're out there cheating on your spouse or something, but like in some way, shape, or form, I feel like those kinds of energies are pulling through your life, and I'm trying to be playful and funny about it. So I'm not saying that you or your spouse are, you know, one of you is being a hussy or whatever. But I just feel like someone is taking advantage of being able to play the game. And as I said earlier, because from the very beginning, I got this idea that this was in like your creative workspace or a project you're working on or a new business or whatever. Or even just working up to a promotion, that don't take other people out to get there. And you could be really, really good at doing that kind of stuff, getting out there and manipulating a situation in your favor. But is it really long term? Is it really in your favor? Does it just create drama and BS, or long term stuff that you end up having to carry around or feel guilty for or whatever? It's not really as worth it as you may think it is sometimes, but it's fun to play the game, so you do. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you, but that's just really how I'm feeling about all of this. We're gonna pull a card here for your spiritual space. The Two of Coin. So some flexibility, going with the flow, multitasking. This is a movement card, like this. It's depicted here with the infinity of ongoing juggling act, right? So spiritually, you probably never sit still in your spirituality. I shouldn't have said it like that, but just be like, yeah, it's good. Everything's good. And we'll have a conversation and go with the flow. But how much of that time is getting still within yourself within it? That's just the message I'm getting here. So let's pull two end suggestion type cards. Oh, I didn't even see that one flip. Suggestion. We have the Two of Cups, which is all about having authentic, real, healthy relationships. So, not this. This. Like, this is going out to the bar and having a good time, and this is one-on-one at home connecting. Does that make sense? We have the 10 of coin, which is depicted as an older person who has created a beautiful home and space and has their family around them, even pets, and a very secure home space. Like, this is what I've done it all for, so I can provide my family. I've worked so hard and I've saved and I've been smart with my money and all of these stuff to make this really cool space to live and enjoy life in. We have the Eight of Wands, which is a fast moving, I call this the card of intentions. I don't even know how I picked that up, but I think I've forgotten what the whole meaning of the card is. I shouldn't say that because that probably makes me lose my credibility, but really, this card does not come out that often for me. But when it does, all of a sudden I'll see it in a whole lot of readings, and it's always seems to be like something's gonna move quickly. You got to do it right now. Get in line, set clear thoughts, set clear intentions, get your shit together, and get clear with yourself. And so the three of these coming out as your suggestions is, to me, it's get really real about how you connect with people and get in more of get your intentions and your life in line with what is your final goal and your final, if you're expanding and this is what you want, like you really want to have a very comfortable space, you want to have a nice home, you want to have a place for your family or your friends or your group to be together, and you're trying to create this like white picket fence fairy tale kind of thing. And I'm not saying it has to be a fairy tale, but you have a clear idea of what it is you're expanding to. You have a goal, you have a focus, whatever. And this may not be your home. This could be your workspace, your business, whatever whatever you're doing. To have this clear goal and to have clear intent, like this is my goal and my intentions are to get there. My intentions are to do it in this way and with this kind of time or with this kind of resources or with, and I intend to be a good person and I intend to, it's like everything is very crystal clear, and even writing it down like this is my intent. And so where you're going, it can get there pretty quickly once the path is cleared out, right? If you had to go through with and cut your path, that takes a lot of time. If the path is already cut, it's amazing how much faster you can get there, right? Imagine walking through the woods or getting on the highway in your car. Those are two different experiences. One is having a very clear, this is how I'm getting there, and the other one's like, okay, I have to work my way through. Like that's how I see that card playing out. So getting clear with intentions and getting authentic connection or respect, so forth, with your relationships to get to that 10, like that's some really, really beautiful energy. So I hope you all have an amazing month, and whatever this expansion is happens in a really beautiful way for you. Please be well, take care of yourselves. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave me a comment below or hit me up privately on one of my social medias that are linked below. If you would like to hear from me again, remember to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Be well, Libra.